Hello, I'm Finola Burke from Research as a Service, and today our focus is on vehicles subscription business, Carly Holden's ASX ticker CL8. And joining me today is CEO Chris Noone and my colleague Scott Maddock. Thank you both for joining.
Thanks, Finola. Great to be here.
So Carly ended 2023, Chris, with the news that it had placed 78 orders for 78 new vehicles, the majority of which were EVs. Have these vehicles now arrived, and what has been the response from customers?
I suppose the most important thing in that is that we've started buying electric vehicles. Previously, we had a number of electric vehicles from our partner Hyundai, but that was on an asset-light basis. So now we're actually buying our own electric vehicles, and that's because we've seen some of the initial problems with valuations of electric vehicles wash through the system. And we've also seen other vehicles come onto the market that are around the $40,000 mark, not $80,000 or $100,000 like earlier vehicles, which have 5-star ANCAP ratings, 7-year warranties. In particular, we're buying the MG4, which is also the car sales car of the year. So we're seeing very good value in the market, and that's why we've now taken this opportunity to start buying electric vehicles. Some of those vehicles have already been delivered and are already on the road with our customers, both retail customers and also corporates as well. And the corporates are saying that they want to understand the transition to electric vehicles, and that's why they're trialling them via a subscription service before they go out and make longer-term purchases.
It sounds like a fascinating transition from one form of ownership to another and one form of vehicle to another. Just staying on EVs for a moment, has the growth in the charging network been part of your decision-making process?
Yeah, the charging network is getting better and better every day. We've also recently announced a partnership with ChargeFox, which is the biggest charging network in Australia, and we're offering free charge packs with all of our electric vehicle subscriptions. So what we want to do is make it as easy as possible for our customers to subscribe to a vehicle, but when they subscribe to it, as easy as possible to understand how to use the vehicle as well. And in many cases, it's a misconception about the differences with EVs. What we find is once people try them, a lot of them really like it.
Well, they do seem to be better cars overall. So range limitations in the city clearly not an issue.
No, and think once people actually try them, they understand that some of the anxieties are unfounded, but our view is that everyone's situation is different. There's no one-size-fits-all answer. No one can really say an EV is definitely better in all cases than a petrol vehicle, but for many people, in many cases, it can be the optimal choice.
It's a decision most of us are going to have to make shortly. In buying these new vehicles, you've funded them from the $10 million facility, which is gradually being drawn down. How utilised is that now, and how fast do you think you'll use up the rest of it?
We've used just over half of the facility so far, and we're working on orders for the rest of the facility as well. We'll be spending the rest of that money certainly in calendar year 2024 and towards the first half of the year.
Right. And in buying the EVs, you mentioned that the cost of EVs is obviously coming down with new models, particularly from China. Is that going to raise your average purchase cost per vehicle?
It will slightly, but also we are looking to buy larger and potentially more expensive petrol vehicles as well. And that's because we're pushing into the corporate market, and the corporates are demanding larger vehicles. Sometimes they need to carry more people or they're travelling longer distances. So you will see that our fleet will gradually change over time, where we've been focused most recently on the smaller, lighter type vehicles, very much at the value end of the market. Now we're starting to move up to I would say the middle of the market and slightly into the upper part of the market through our asset light partners as our demand channels expand.
Great. It's good to see a positive transition. So coming into 2024, with, again, new vehicles coming on, diversifying your approach and customer base. How do you see the conditions and the cost of living impacts and the corporate costs weighing on take-up?
We expected a little bit of a slowdown over the Christmas period, but we've actually been quite pleasantly surprised that sales have continued to increase. That's coming in from our retail customers, and there's been a strong start in the corporate market as well. We're not fearful of cost of living pressures. We actually see that a lot of people are coming to us because of cost of living. They may be unwilling to take on a car loan at this time when the economy is a little bit uncertain, when their other finances are stretched. And it might be that they say, I only need a car for 4 months. Let's subscribe to it for 4 months. And for the other few months, I can save money by commuting, by public transport or other means, or using car share. So we see that people are taking smarter choices about their transport, and certainly car subscription is one of those choices that they're putting in the mix.
And Chris, you've historically been able to keep subscription vehicle utilisation rates in the mid 80%. Do you think you can maintain this while also bringing on a significant number of new vehicles to the fleet?
We're trying to manage the inflow of vehicles into the fleet so that we can maintain that high utilisation. There will be some occasions where we have a big drop of vehicles where there will be a short-term impact on that utilisation, but because we're broadening up our demand channels both through the consumer and also the business markets, we feel that there's a lot more demand waiting there for these vehicles. And the other reason is that we've got greater control over the use of the asset finance, that we now know how much we have, we know what period of time we have to use it, so we can place our orders a lot more strategically than we were in the past. And also the supply issues that were dominating the market in the last couple of years have pretty much receded now. So we're being a lot more planned and strategic with placing our vehicle orders that are coming in tune with the demand we're bringing in from the market as well.
Well, thank you, Chris, for joining Scott and me today. I'm looking forward to catching up with you through the course of 2024 to check on Carly's progress.
Thanks very much.